Hi, my fellow Americans. I'm Dr. Stephen Clark Bradley, and this is what I think. We're going into video 2 of this group of videos that I call No, Joe Biden. We do have a right as the American people to know if you are going to pack the court or not. All right? And we were talking about exactly what the goals of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrat-Socialist Party as a whole, what their goals are for you and for me, and about taking over the nation as a whole and turning us into a socialist society, a socialist government, a socialist state. We pointed out that there's no way that they can accomplish their goals of ridding us of the protections of the Constitution, protecting our rights, as long as the Supreme Court remains in its current form. That they would have to add to the Supreme Court, which is called packing the court, and how we have already questioned many times of Joe Biden, and also during the vice presidential debate, Kamala Harris was very, very openly questioned about whether they will pack the court or not, and neither of them have even tried to answer it, and Joe Biden has even said that he would not answer that question until after the election. In other words, vote for me. I can't tell you until you vote for me first, which is absolutely asinine and ridiculous, and nobody should expect the American people to be that stupid. Let's prove that we're not. In other words, we are being asked by the Democrat-Socialist Party and by Joe Biden himself and Kamala Harris herself to commit U.S. constitutional homicide. That's what it amounts to. They are asking us to murder the Constitution of the United States of America. Are you willing to do that? Unfortunately, over the years, we tend not to give the profound issues and profound ideas of why things like the Constitution are so important, why packing the court would be so dangerous. People don't realize the implications of what would be done and the results of those actions by these socialist terrorists that seek to overtake our country. The constitutional republic would absolutely disappear. Your rights, your freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, freedom of private property will all disappear if we allow them to pack the court. And we pointed out that is because the court will never tell them no. Let's put it this way. The president doesn't protect your rights. The House of Representatives doesn't protect your rights. The Senate does not protect your rights. They make laws. Sometimes they make laws that defile your rights. It is the U.S. Supreme Court that protects our rights. It is that body of excellent judges that are supposed to use wisdom and integrity and to follow the U.S. Constitution and to cast judgments on the laws that are made by fallible men and women in Congress and that are signed into law by fallible presidents. So many times they have said unconstitutional. Yes, the Supreme Court has been corrupted over the years, and it has been turned into a body at times where they have legislated from the bench, which is totally against the Constitution. But if we allow them to add 5, 6, 7, who knows how many additional Supreme Court justices to the Supreme Court, it will be a mini place where legislation is passed. They want the Supreme Court not to just say this law is overruled or this law is constitutional. They want the Supreme Court to be able to make law. Because the Democrat Party knows that the things they want to do, that they cannot do it because of the people will reject them and also because of the opposing party, the Republicans. So they would like to have a Supreme Court that will serve as a mini legislature to be able to pass the laws that they cannot do themselves, which absolutely destroys the court. It will no longer be a court. It will be just a mini legislature, just like Congress itself. It's so important that we understand these things. It's so important that we understand why they are seeking to do these things. The founding fathers never intended for the Supreme Court to be in any way, shape, or form a body that makes law. It is a body that interprets law. And in order to get the things that the Democrat-Socialists want to achieve, to hurt us and to help them gain power over us, they must have additional members to the court that will never overrule them in anything. They're political, philosophical allies. It won't be a court anymore. And so the other day, a journalist came up to Joe Biden and said, Mr. Biden, the number one question that people are asking me is, are you going to pack the court? And he said, the American people will not know that until after the election. And then the journalist, thank God, went a bit further and he said, well, don't the American people have a right to know if you're going to pack the court? And these are his exact words. The American people do not deserve to have an answer on whether I will pack the court or not. And then he said, these are his words, you will not know my opinion until the election's over. It's a great question for you all, and I don't blame you for asking. But you will know the moment I answer the question. The headlines and every one of your papers will be all about that, other than focusing on what's happening now. Like, yeah, that's what elections are for. Why are you campaigning? Oh, I forgot. He doesn't really campaign. I thought it was really funny. I was watching an Arizona journalist talking about a Biden campaign rally. And she came right out and said, well, this is kind of boring. There's nobody here. They had 12 people. There were more Trump supporters outside of his rally protesting him than there were supporters praising him in the rally itself. So they know that they cannot win by popularity. They can only win by tyranny. And if they win this election, it's tyranny galore. It will never be stopped, and you will not be able to stop it. I want to say something. Let's pretend something now. Let's pretend this is the U.S. Constitution, just a piece of paper, okay? Now, I have lived all over the world. I have lived in Asia, Far East Asia, Middle East Asia, West Africa, Europe. I've been to 37 countries, and I've worked in many of them and lived long-term in many of them. Long enough to know their cultures, their history, their backgrounds. Countries like China, today they have a terrible, terrible political system. The CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. It's evil, it's cutthroat, and it's just terrible. That's why I left. I don't want to be there anymore. But if you go back in China's history, you'll find before they were an empire, they had an emperor. After that, they had a democracy. After that, they had another system. But through it all, even until today, the Chinese people have always been the Chinese people. They have their own language, their own food, which is quite yummy, their own customs, their holidays. They have 5,000 years of history to back it all up. What do we have as Americans? Have you ever thought about that? What do we have? We're barely, not even 300 years old as a nation. And as colonies, around 400. We don't have our own language. We borrowed one. I always think it's kind of fun how we've destroyed the Queen's English. We don't even have our own food, really. There's so many cultures in America. America's a nation made up of every kindred tongue and nation throughout the world. So we don't even have a real set culture. What do we have? What holds China together as a people? Not a nation, but as a people. Their culture, their language, their history. And there's a lot of it. What holds America together as a people, as a nation? One piece of paper. The U.S. Constitution. That's it. That's all we have. As long as this document, the U.S. Constitution, remains the law of the land, the bulwark against tyranny, the judge against all that is past and is wrong for the nation, and wise counsel, as long as we follow this document that set forth the nation itself, that founded the country that we all love and cherish, at least most of us, as long as we have that piece of paper, that cherished parchment, we can go on as a great nation and become better and better. And as Donald Trump says, win, win, win. But take that one document, that founding document on which the whole nation rests, the foundation on which the whole nation rests. Rip it apart. Tear it in shreds. Break it down. Make it so weak until it's gone. And poof, America's gone. That's scary. It's that easy. We're a different kind of nation. America is a nation, a powerful nation, a great nation. We won 2 world wars. We defeated Nazism. We defeated socialism, even though we seem to be thriving after it now. We've cured how many different diseases. We've done great things. No nation in the world has done what we've done. We are an exceptional nation, American exceptionalism. And it's all based on these pieces of paper, on one paper. And when you tear it up, as I just did this paper, America's gone. There'll still be a nation here. There'll still be an authority here. But it won't be America anymore. It'll be an authoritative socialist state that will take away all the rights that we cherish and practice on a daily basis and we take for granted because we've grown up there. We were raised there to speak our minds, to start our jobs, to work anywhere we want, to be anybody we want, to do anything we want. And it will all be gone. What Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are doing, in effect, is tearing up the Constitution. By adding to the Supreme Court, they are tearing up the Constitution. What Joe Biden has said here, that we don't have a right to know what he plans on doing for the Constitution, is totally unacceptable and should not be accepted or even thought about voting for something like that. Because it's effectively saying to the U.S. Constitution, you're gone. Have you ever thought about it that way? Well, you should. Every single person in America, everyone who cherishes your freedom, you cherish our rights that are protected by the U.S. Constitution. Everyone who refuses to vote for them is honoring that document. And all of you, anybody out there listening who chooses to vote for someone like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrat-Socialist Party, you are in effect saying, I hate the Constitution. I don't want it anymore. I want to be a socialist and destroy the nation we have known all of our lives. That's what it means. That's what it's all about. Now they said, well, no one has said we're going to pack the court. Chuck Schumer said everything is on the table. And we should take that communist guy, that communist man's word for it. All right, he is the majority leader of the Senate, and he says everything is on the table. They have a complete disregard for the rule of law and a complete disregard for your rights and my rights for you. Disregard for me. They don't care about us. They care about one solitary thing. Power. They want power. The power that the U.S. Constitution affords leaders in this country is not good enough for them. They still have to answer to you and to me, to all of us. They don't want to have to answer to any of us. They want us to answer to them. That's what Bernie Sanders is all about. Once he said, well, everybody talks about in Russia people are in bread lines, and that's such a bad thing. You said that's a good thing. They wouldn't have anything to eat otherwise. How would you like that to be? America's way of judging if we get a meal or not. That we can stand in line and wait for bread. That's what socialism is all about. Lenin said, the goal of socialism is Marxism, communism. That's where it leads, and it's already there. Because really, there's very little difference between any of them. It is a travesty. It is a suicide of liberty, and it cannot be allowed to continue or even start in this nation. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, if they tell us what they want to do, why won't they tell us? If they tell us what they want to do, they know they will be repudiated by the American people. So they hide it from you. They don't want you to know. They want you to fear them. They want you to trust something, and they won't tell you what it is, and they are lying to the American people. They are deceivers, deceitful. As I said earlier, they are snakes and speak with forked tongue. You cannot trust these people. And the whole group. So if they take power in the House of Representatives, if they take power in the Senate, if they take the White House, they will, one, pack the court. They will grant statehood to Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico because they vote liberal. And they know they will be in power in perpetuity forever. They will end the Electoral College because right now they can only win on the coastal areas. They can't win that way. They can't win elections. They can win states, but they can't win elections. And they want to end the Electoral College, which gives all the states in the country, the flyover states even, great voices of power in the election. They want it gone. And they will end the filibuster. The filibuster is a law that goes way back to the beginning of the Republic, which allows people to speak out against laws that are bad for the country and to continue talking. Nobody can stop them. Now they have rules for it, but they want to end it totally so that nobody can question what they want to do. They don't want to be responsible to you or me. They want you to be responsible to them. They don't want to answer to you or to me. They want us to answer to them. And we must say no. We will not do it. If they control the Senate, the Democrat-Socialists will get the justices they desire. As is happening right now with Amy Coney Barrett. She's facing her confirmation hearings with the Senate. The senators, I thought, I was pretty pleased actually. Most of them, Corona and a few others, are terribly rude, but most of them very nicely questioned her today. Not too hard, not too brutal, not like it was with Kavanaugh, thank God. But she's facing the music right now, all right, with the Senate. It's the Senate that has the responsibility to take those that are nominated for the Supreme Court, to make sure that they're well qualified, and to try their best, if you're a Democrat, if it's appointed by Donald Trump, that to find a reason not to qualify them and not to let them pass and be confirmed to the Supreme Court. That's happening right now. If the Democrat-Socialists gain the majority in the Senate, they can call for pass laws between the House and the Senate to have as many justices as they please. It can be sent to the president. He can sign it. It can be sent to the Supreme Court, and it will always be ruled constitutional, even when it's not. We must make sure that we don't give power to these people. We're going to show you in the next video a few very specific things that will affect your pocketbook if they are allowed to have majorities in the House, the Senate, and to take the White House. We must not let it happen. This is constitutional homicide. It must be stopped. Thank you.